This is KTVO's Good Morning Heartland.
And welcome back. October is National Dental Hygiene Month, and we all know that we need to brush our teeth and floss every day. But what can we do to help keep a bad breath at bay? We have Dr. Liz Kaz, an Associate Dean for Education and Assessment at A.T. Still University's Missouri Dental of Dentistry and Oral Health, with us this morning to break it down for us. So how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Great.
Obviously, we know that there's certain foods out there that can cause bad breath, but for some, halitosis is a serious condition that they have, right?
That's correct. One of the things you want to do when you have or experience bad breath is you want to first rule out any serious illnesses. So that's the first thing you do, is you want to make sure that it's not caused by a respiratory illness or maybe even diabetes. So the next thing you look at is the oral cavity. And it could be indicative of maybe unfilled cavities, gum disease, that sort of thing, and even dry mouth can cause some halitosis to form. So we all know to brush and to floss and that sort of thing, but one thing that sometimes kind of slips by is actually brushing your tongue.
Right.
If you looked at your tongue under a microscope, it would actually look like a mushroom field.
Oh.
And under each of those little caps of the mushroom, food, bacteria, and all of the debris gets stuck in there. And so the real goal in all of this is to brush, floss, and make sure you're brushing your tongue and your cheeks. So I brought some products here, if I can show them to you. The toothbrush companies have really gotten rather clever in their designs. They've taken the traditional toothbrush and then put a little bit of a grooving and notching on the back side of the toothbrush. A lot of people don't realize that, and they think, oh, that's kind of nice. But ideally, that's to clean the tongue. Now, if you want to get really high tech, there's other types of devices that are out there that you would just go ahead and brush your tongue like this. And now, some people have a little difficulty with this because it's a little bit larger in scale, but I'll tell you, this is probably the best device that you can use. The other one is kind of a serrated technique here, where you would stick out your tongue and then you just scrape the top of your tongue with this. So it's just something that, I think we have a tendency to forget, but the tongue can really be the culprit in bad breath.
And can you buy these at the store? Or?
Yes, these are all available at your local pharmacies, so readily available. This one you might have to actually purchase online, but the rest of these products were all bought here in Kirksville.
All right, so really quickly, let's just, onions and garlic, but are there any other food out there that does cause bad breath?
Well, you probably hit on the biggest ones, and garlic is probably the biggest culprit. So beyond that, I don't know if anything really supersedes the the qualities of garlic and onions.
Yeah. And so you want us to brush our tongue morning and night like we do our teeth? Or,
actually,
can you actually damage the top of your tongue by brushing too hard?
If you really can, you really could probably with some of these products. The toothbrush product is actually a little softer, so that would be difficult. Once a day really is all you're going to need for that.
Okay. And what color should our tongue be so we know that it's healthy? I know that some people, if you look at it, they have a white film, like a yellowish film, and some have a pinkish. So what color should we try to?
The top of the tongue should not be what we call coated, and what you're describing there is what we call a coated tongue. And generally that's when people have not cleansed it, and over time it just keeps accumulating debris day after day after day. So the tongue should actually be kind of a pinkish red color. And it should not look white when you stick it out and show people. Hopefully you're not doing that a lot.
Well, the whole entire time we're having this conversation, I'm like, okay, I brushed my teeth, I flossed. But okay, so now the big question now, we have Halloween right around the corner. It's next week, and of course Halloween means candy, but we know dentists aren't very big fans of certain types of candy. So we want to know what is the worst kind of candy and the best kind of candy for your teeth. And let's go ahead and start off with the bad news. Get it out of the way.
Okay, well, my favorite is the Brock's candy corn. That's probably the worst that you can have. The products that I have here are the licorice. We've got some Snickers. We've got Almond Joy. Anything that's got kind of the gooey, caramely consistency to it is actually bad for your teeth because it sticks to your teeth. The whole point with cavities and that sort of thing is time. The longer these sugars stay on your teeth, the more acid you produce, the more acid, the more decay. So if you can actually move to candies that dissolve in your mouth, like just pure chocolate. I brought a couple of here, like the Hershey's candy bars and then the Hershey Kisses. Those types of chocolates actually dissolve, and the saliva can then take over, and the acid will diminish from your mouth a whole lot faster. If you're going to be using or eating the bad candy, and I'm a culprit myself, have water available so that you can wash kind of the acid out of your mouth after you've had some of the bad stuff.
Now what about like hard candy, like suckers and stuff?
That's really bad as well. The whole factor with cavities is the time element. The longer that you have an acid surrounding the tooth, the more decay you'll have. And hard candies are just notorious for doing that because you have them in your mouth for a longer period of time.
The sugar and everything.
Sugar is just swirling around.
There could be even a possibility of maybe chipping a tooth by biting on it.
Yes, that is another problem that could occur. If you have hard candies, don't chew them, especially if you have a lot of fillings in your mouth. Sometimes that can set you up for some problems.
All right, so of course dentists don't like a lot of sweets in our mouth, but if we have to indulge, which I know I will be on Halloween, stick with the chocolate.
Yes, stick with the
chocolate. Or have
chocolate.
some, if you have to indulge in your favorites, have some water
Have
so you
some
can
water.
wash it off. All right, well thank you so much, Dr. Kaz. What we'll do is we'll post everything on our website at heartlandconnection.com. And thanks again for coming on.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back.